Hey, it's Monica B, creator of HeyMonicaB.com, a blooming resource on Ayurveda and author of In Your Elements, a blooming Ayurveda guide to creating your best life, where we're going to talk about ghee and what it is exactly and how to use it, what it does for our bodies. So way back in the day when I first started my website, Hey Monica B, ghee was the very first post that I did. So in 2008, ghee was the first thing I wrote about because I was so excited. I was like mesmerized. I was like, this is magical. I can't even believe this exists. How many other people don't know this exists? Like, how come I didn't know how great ghee was? So I got all excited and I wrote my first post about ghee, and that was my attempt to start teaching Ayurveda with that little bit of knowledge that I know. And so here I am again, getting excited talking about ghee. But since then, I've learned some more things about ghee. So first, let me tell you what it is. Ghee is created from buttermilk or butter. And so when we make ghee, we can make it from butter. And you can, what you do is you boil it for a little while. You just let it like bubble and simmer, and it cooks off all the sugars, the salts, the excess water, and everything. So what you're left with is this pure golden oil. And the oil itself is sattvic. So it's very good for our clarity of mind, peace, harmony, right choices, right action, all of that stuff to help our mind adhere to that. It's also very unctuous, which means it's very oily and easily absorbed by all the tissues in the body. So it keeps us nice and supple, our insides nice and supple. We have a tendency to dry out and get hot, which is like inflammation and drying problems that are created in our body from, just the different types of foods that we eat and different habits and things. And ghee will help keep us supple and keep us cool and moist and flowing. The neat thing about ghee is that it is, it has kind of a magical quality, right? So it's an oil. It's the purest, most sattvic oil that you can have. It's the only oil that is actually cooling and increases digestive fire. It increases our Agni at the same time. So it's got this weird, like, how can it be cooling and how can it increase our digestive fire at the same time? I know, that's why I got so excited about it such a long time ago. So ghee is like pitta's best food. Why? Because pittas tend to run hot. And so when pittas have ghee, it has this nice coating, cooling, calming quality that is very soothing for pitta's tissues, especially if there's any hot and dry problems. Also good for vata, but pure oils are better for vata than too much ghee is. So vata's number one food is oil, okay, but vatas can also benefit from ghee. Kaphas need much less ghee. In fact, the taste of ghee to a kapha might offend them. They might not even like it. Because one of the other cool things about ghee is when we really need it, it's going to taste like the best thing ever. It's going to be so like, give me some more of that ghee. I just want to bathe in it. And then when we don't need it anymore, when we're fully oleated and our body's like, yeah, had enough oil, we're not going to crave it as much. So that's kind of cool, right? Like you can just gauge how much your body needs ghee by how much you actually want it. And please check your tongue. What I didn't know way back then, 2008, when I started my first post on ghee, was too much can actually cause asthma. And so check your tongue. If your tongue is coated white, that's not the time for ghee. That is the time for ginger tea, black peppers, and things to get the digestive fire really hot and drier to get it stronger. And then once that's been, then incorporate the ghee and have some of that. And keep checking your tongue to make sure that it's going through well in digestion. So let's see, what else can I tell you about ghee? How to use it. You can melt it. You can saute it. It's got a super high smoke point, so you can actually like saute, stir fry vegetables in it if you want to. You could do a little spin on like fried rice. You could use some ghee in your rice. You can do extra vegetables in there. It might make a nice little rice bowl. If you do that, make sure you're not over ghee-ing at every single meal, right? Like use it as an oil or a butter and in that quantity that works for you. I wouldn't recommend, it depends on the person, but I wouldn't recommend more than 2 tablespoons a day, depending on the person, height, weight, dosha, all the stuff, imbalances, So that's why I don't really give too much like specific advice because everybody's different, right? But just so you can gauge how much oil or butter would you use. Swap it out with some ghee sometimes. It will make a big difference. in how you feel, and even open those qualities of the mind. So you could even put it on the backside of like a grilled cheese. It doesn't burn like butter. So if you're making grilled cheeses or anything like that, or if you're putting some like a little vegetable panini or something, really nice on both sides of the bread, stuff we don't really think about. You can drizzle it, put it on popcorn. That's my favorite. I don't even like popcorn. Don't like it. Too dry, fluffy, useless, but put some ghee on it. I'm all over that. Okay. So some other cool things about ghee, you don't have to refrigerate it. You can actually leave it sitting on your counter and it will be just fine. Don't be surprised if it turns to liquid and then it solidifies, during different times of the day, because the cool thing about ghee is that it will totally melt, once it gets to like a nice room temperature or nice warm temperature. It will just turn to liquid, which is why it works so well in our bodies, because as soon as it hits our warm skin or our insides, it goes with our bodies. It takes the shape of the container and gets all in there and gets really nice and lubricates our bods. So, and if it's cold at night, if your house drops to a certain level, don't be surprised if your ghee's a little bit hard. You can also keep it in the refrigerator. I don't, because I like to be able to spread it and just scoop it out and use it how I want to. I drive my husband crazy because I use like a spoonful here and then I'll stir it with something. Oops, gotta use another spoon. Oops, gotta use another spoon. And I'm using tons of utensils to use my ghee. But make sure it's pure. Don't butter your toast or whatever you're gonna do and then stick it back in the ghee jar. Take a lump, put it somewhere, and then use it as you need it. Great. So what else can I tell you about ghee? I think that about covers it. Ghee will also help you, I say this in general also, it can help you achieve your most optimal weight. So when we're craving that ghee, it can give us the satiation, the satisfaction with our food, so we actually eat less and we can arrive at that nice, comfortable weight for ourselves. And again, you're gonna feel it when you're like, I don't want ghee at all right now. Good, stop, don't need it right now. But then again, you'll start to crave it. And in case you don't know of my book, In Your Elements, it's gonna show backwards like it always does right here. You can get a copy of that on Amazon and I'll put a link below as well. And keep bringing this Ayurveda to life.